Timely Translations is a firm dedicated to providing quality translations for business clients. A new course, Improving English Usage, has recently been launched at the company for the first time. It was designed to help staff translators fine-tune the quality of their English translations. My name is Dale Thorpe, and I am the course creator and current instructor. This is a report I will present to the Vice President of Human Resources and the ID team to help identify areas that need to be improved for courses. The course is at its midpoint, and students recently completed a midterm. I sent them a questionnaire to elicit their feedback on the course thus far. While awaiting the results of the survey, I will begin by examining learning analytics to see how they are doing. After analyzing the data, I will contact students performing below the class average to determine how I can help them get on a successful track. Finally, I will make all feasible adjustments to the course and provide support to struggling students. Since this was the first course of its kind in the organization, it took a week or two for students to get comfortable with the expectations and the user interface. Some were taking an online course for the first time, but they have begun to make consistent progress. They found the material challenging, and many grades were lower initially until they began to grasp some of the concepts and mnemonic devices. I spent some time reviewing student participation and grading analytics for all the activities and assessments thus far. First, I created a graph to show all students performing below the class average of 83. To protect their privacy, the identities of the students were kept confidential. I included student averages and time spent on activities. Two students stood out to me with averages of 68 and 72. I noted that student 22 had an extremely low time on task, 14 minutes, while student 41 had an extremely high time on task, 80 minutes. I employed Chickering and Gamson's first principle and contacted both students to ask how I could help them be more successful in the class. I discovered that student 22, whom I shall call Lawrence, was new to online courses and was having a lot of trouble balancing work, home, and school responsibilities. I encouraged him to set aside chunks of time to work every day and to contact me with any questions. I also encouraged him to use the Q&A board for any issues he was having trouble with. He appreciated my concern and promised to give me an update in a week. He also mentioned that he had a long commute to work and that recent stormy weather was making it even longer. I discovered that he was an auditory learner, so I created podcast versions of the video presentations and encouraged him to listen to them during his commute. This is consistent with Chickering and Gamson's 7th principle. The other student, 41, I will call Anna. Anna told me that her native tongue was Spanish, but that she was bilingual. She had a very good command of English, but did have some trouble with usage. I saw that she was spending a large amount of time on the activities and decided to take a closer look at the items she was getting wrong. To further explore why Anna and the rest of the below average group were not performing so well, I did a comparison of their averages on the first activity, the first assessment, and the midterm. I discovered that the scores were fairly close, which indicated that the activities were not dramatically different in their expectations. I hope to get further feedback on this after receiving the midterm survey results. We can use them to do a qualitative study to discover any issues that have not yet surfaced. I did a test analysis of the first multiple choice activity and discovered that a number of students, including Anna, were having trouble with the words imply, there, and cite. I found that the lesson that included these words was not always launching properly, so that some students may not have seen the presentation. We were able to correct the problem promptly. In looking at the analysis for the first assessment, the 3 words which Anna had missed, well, affect, and its, were also missed by at least half of the class. As I reviewed the related presentation, I found that these explanations could be clearer, and I created a learning object to clear up the confusion. I notified students of the extra resource Finally, I did an analysis of the midterm and examined the test questions and noticed that a majority of the students got incorrect answers for the words altogether and dessert. I checked the test and discovered that the grading was incorrect. The majority of students had in fact chosen correctly, but the system was incorrect in its grading. I was able to adjust their grades and included a link to an article to encourage students to raise questions when there seemed to be inconsistencies. I explained that the course was new and that we needed to hear from them to help correct any bugs that we didn't catch during the pre-course evaluation. I also followed up with Anna to encourage her and to offer her an assessment that would help determine her learning style. After she takes the assessment, I will recommend some ideas to help her reduce the amount of time on task. Cox suggests other things that need to be done mid-course. Encourage students by responding at least once to their post during discussion. Contact any students that are not performing. Let them know that they must help you in helping them succeed. Gayton adds other best practices. Be consistent, prompt, and regular with feedback. Make sure the institution is also supporting the student. Maintain a regular online presence so students know you are accessible and interested. Encourage students to interact with each other as well. These are some of many measures that we will take in course to ensure a quality course. Thank you for your attention.